Hey guys, welcome to my page. It's called Loc Journeys by iStyle Kinks, and that's for a reason. My name is Tiffany, and I'm a master loctician, and I also have locks, and I also have a son who has locks, and I perform lock care services as a cosmetologist. So, this summer, my son was so busy with summer camp. It included recess time, playtime, pool time. And then we also had a family trip, and we have our annual family trip to the beach. So I wanted to make sure his hair was healthy. I wanted to make sure it stayed in good condition. I wanted to make sure it didn't break off, any of that nature. So here are some of the things that we were up against with our busy schedule. We had chlorine and saltwater buildup, sun overexposure, going further between appointments, and then with the sweat and pool air drying, we didn't want mold and mildew. So this is my dynamic trio, the Loc Care Bundle. The first step was to make sure that it was clean without having to shampoo it. Shampooing over dries can dry your hair, especially if we were to shampoo it after every time he needed it throughout the summer. So the cleansing rinse, it is an herbal water based cleansing rinse with powerful herbs and ingredients that can lift the dirt layers deep, bring it to the surface. I let it sit on his scalp and his hair for about 5 minutes. You can let it sit for longer, but you see how I sprayed it? I made sure it was drenched really good, squeezed the product into his hair, and then let it sit. You'll see later how much of a difference it made with his locks. And so it sits for a few minutes after I'm done. That's how much I used. It takes up about at least a third of the bottle each time I use it. I let it sit, and then I rinse thoroughly. This was maybe about this was right before the trip. So this was 2 weeks worth of summer camp as far as the chlorine buildup. We hadn't got to the salt water yet. So this was basically sweat and chlorine all up in there that we were getting out before our beach trip. Now, we'll say the longer part is rinsing out. I wanted to make sure I got all of that solution out because it does take a hold and grab onto the buildup and debris and the sweat and stuff pretty good. So I wanted to make sure that it all rinsed out. So I let it sit for about 5 minutes, but I rinsed for a straight 10 minutes. It had to be. That's why I had to fast forward this, make it a time lapse, because you really want to make sure that you get it all out. And then the next tip is to buy a microfiber towel. This is a miracle worker. It can soak up all the water within your hair, and so when you get to the chair, it won't be dripping wet. It won't be dripping down your neck and stuff. It's just perfect for drying the hair without taking out the necessary nutrients or the good stuff. It leaves the good stuff in your hair, doesn't dry it out at all, and it just soaks up what needs to be soaked up, and that's it. Okay, the next tip is to make sure that you're using products that properly hydrate and seal and protect. My Lock Water and Thrive Oil are two major necessities for locks, not only throughout the summer but throughout your locks journey. The Lock Water is another herbal water that I made, and it has necessary ingredients such as roses, aloe, hibiscus, all of these good herbs that'll keep your hair hydrated and impart moisture. The next step is I'm taking my Thrive Oil, and I'm putting it through the scalp and his locks. What Thrive Oil is, it is a combination of non-essential herbs that are soaked and infused for at least 6 weeks that you can apply to your scalp and your locks to protect against damage and to also seal in the hydration. It has some of the herbs from the Lock Water plus many more to make sure that it's soft. Make sure that your hair and scalp are soft and supple. Alright, you're about to see in a few minutes me pouring some Thrive oil in my hands and taking it throughout the locks. I really want to reiterate that part because the Thrive oil does way more than just scalp health. The Thrive oil not only softens your hair, but it protects your hair against harmful sun rays and sun exposure. This is not your average oil. This is an herbal infused oil. So it's not just going to sit on your hair. It's going to do what it's supposed to do throughout the layers deep. So here's my favorite style for the summer, rope twists. I say rope twists only because you can do a lot with them. You can style them, you can take them out your face, you can get them wet, you can jump in the pool and in the and in the beach, and it wouldn't do anything with your new growth. Your new growth will stay intact. It will get frizzy, but it's the perfect style for the summer, just for you to live your life. And now we're at the beach, guys. So there was beach and chlorine on our family vacation. So I made sure I brought our microfiber towel with us. I made sure that every time we got out of the pool or out of the beach that I soaked it all up again, like I said, with the microfiber towel, so that it wouldn't air dry as bad. This is his locks after the pool one day, the hotel pool. And with the lock water, that's a daily thing. So it doesn't matter if he was going to the pool, to the beach, or both, or nothing. On a daily basis, I spray that lock water. So these were my tips. Making sure that salt and chlorine didn't stay in his hair for too long. Making sure that I properly hydrated daily, and then ensuring that hydration was sealed in, plus adding proper nutrients and herbal goodies. The link to the Summer Loc Care Bundle is in the comments in the description. You can find everything that I make for locks on istylekinks.com. Y'all sub up to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed so that you can catch more lock journeys and more lock care tips. Thank you guys for watching. Love and light.